Welcome everybody to For All the Meeples. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, happy whatever you celebrate. The first thing I want to talk about in this list of best gamer gifts, they're not games. They are things other than games, because a gamer knows what games they like, and unless they have told you directly what they want, don't get them a game. So, another thing that we have to talk about is, if you are a board gamer and you're watching this right now, the only way you should be watching this is with a loved one, a partner, a friend, a family member, someone you might be exchanging gifts with, because then they will get the ideas for what you'd like for Christmas. So what I'd suggest, especially if you are a gamer watching this right now, is copy the link and send it to one of those people that I mentioned earlier, someone who will be giving you a gift, and that'll give them some ideas of what you want. So let's start with the first thing on my list, and I'm not going to put these in any general order, any particular order, excuse me. They're all great. So the first thing I'm going to mention is not, it's not too expensive. It wasn't expensive for me, but just do a little looking around, and I'm talking about a laminator. Now, this is not an expensive laminator. It takes a little longer to warm up. It does 5 mil and 3 mil size thickness of paper. And I'm going to use it for print and play games. But I'll probably use it for those reference sheets and maybe some of the other flimsy cards that are in some of the other games that some of the games that I play. And to be honest, great for stuff outside of, of gaming. You can use it around the house for different things. So that is number one, a laminator. I think they'd like one. Ask them. Okay, next on my list, folded space game inserts. Now, you can also get game inserts on Etsy and places like that. I think that you can also get inserts on the internet in different locations, and people have DIY ones and such. But the ones I'm talking about are folded space. I really like them, and you can get them at our sponsors. And let me just tell you who our sponsor is. It is the Gamers Table, which is my local favorite gaming store, or my favorite local gaming store. They're in Oshawa, Ontario. They can service your needs in person or online, and I love them. They're great. And you can get folded space. And I'll throw some up here right now of what they've got. They've got a whole bunch of them. So give them a go. I think you'll be happy with what they have. So check them out. I'll have the link in the description. Next thing I'm going to tell you about is playmats. Now, the only one I have is this playmat, and it's for Hostage Negotiator, and it's for the career of Hostage Negotiator. And I love these ones that are specific to a game, because if you'll see here, it just it puts everything in its place, and a place for everything, and it just makes the game so much easier when you have that. And there's one at the Gamers Table that I'm really interested in getting, and it's for Marble Champions. I love Marble Champions, and just having one of these mats, these neoprene mats, and I'll throw a list. I'll show you a list of the mats that they have at the Gamers Table. There's a ton of them, and the great thing about them is that they make things easier to see, to locate, to pick up, and it just makes the game more enjoyable to me. And you can also get ones that are sort of generic and just a blank color, a black, a blue, or whatever you want, red, in different sizes. And I'll show you one of those up here as well. But I really like the ones that are game specific. So think about that as well. And as I said, there's a link to the gamers table down in the description. Next up, now the one thing I'm going to say, and again, if you're a gamer, you're going to know, pardon me, whether you like these sleeves or not. I like them for some games, but I don't like them for all games. So you can ask your gamer if they sleeve cards or they don't. If they do, get them packs. Like, you can always use these. These are so invaluable. I mean, my Marble Champions wouldn't be in the shape it is today if it wasn't for these great things right here. So packs of sleeves, a great gift for the gamer. Next up, we have dice trays or dice towers. Now, I picked this dice tower up online. Can't remember where, to be honest with you. It's just a 3D printed one, but it works just great. And you can go crazy with these. You can get game-specific towers. You can get them very intricate, expensive. You can go cheap to expensive, whatever you want for your gamer. Find out what their favorite game is, and look for one of these dice towers. It'll make the experience more enjoyable. Or my favorite thing is a dice tray, and this one is it's snapped together. And the great thing is it'll store flat. I rarely put it flat because I keep it with my games, and they're great. The thing that I hate about dice games, and I'm guilty of this, and I'm sure a lot of gamers are guilty of this, is that they either knock pieces over or move pieces on the board when they throw their die or dice, or it goes off the table. That is the one thing that drives me super crazy. When it goes off the table, I hate having to go after it. So, and again, you can get a ton of these. There are different styles, there's different types, different sizes, different shapes. Do your research, enjoy. So those two things for sure. One of those or both of those will be really a great gift for your gamer. Now, one of my, and to go with the last thing that I talked about, because not only do people, do gamers like having a dice tray or a tower, but some like certain types of dice, very intricate types of dice that that are more of an RPG type style. So you'll have to look at that to see what games they like. Ask them, because you can get all kinds of them. Also, just regular dice. I have a ton of them because, one, sometimes you get tired of the ones that you're using. So you want to use something a little different, and you can get some very fancy dice. So don't worry about, colors and things like that. You'll find everything, and I mean everything. I've got a ton of colors in here that I can use with all kinds of different games. I'm also trying to develop a game that I needed different dice, and that helped. But now I get to use it with all of my other games, which is really cool. So let me just throw these over here. So dice. And if you want to get specific to a game, make sure that you find out, again, just ask them what game they love, or check their shelf out and find out what they really love. Then you can get game-specific dice. And they'd love that. Great gift. So, let's go on to probably one of the most popular things that people use, and I know I do. I use these a lot. They're trays. Dice trays are just invaluable. I started playing Tiny Epic Mechs the other day, and great game, but so many pieces. So what I do is I can use these. These are I'm sorry, I forgot their name. It's actually called Game Trays with a Z, and they come in different types. They come in one or they come with a double-sided, and I use these a lot. But there's also games where you can use smaller ones. So these are smaller, and they're collapsible. They don't take up a lot of room. Again, keep them with your games. And they just come in so handy. But my favorite, I have to be honest, is this one. Got this at the dollar store. And you'll notice they're stacked because you just twist them and they come apart. Twist them and they come apart. I love these things. They are so good. And one of the things about these is I have 6 of them now, and what's great is when you're packing them away, you can keep the components in them. I do that for my Marvel Champions. I keep them all in there, and I just put it on top of the box or anywhere close to it, and they're so convenient, and they're just amazing. So I have to keep those close because there's something else going on. But there are a ton of dice trays, a ton of them. You'll have like component trays. Dice trays. Component trays. You can put so many of them, and you can get them in so many different sizes, and again, shapes. And I'll put some up. No, these are enough. Do your research. You'll find all kinds of them. The next thing that I want to talk about is custom. Sorry, I'm checking my notes because I'm old. Custom accessories, pieces for a particular game. I'll put some up on the screen here. They're specific to a game. So what you're going to have to find out is what game they love. If you see it on their shelf, if you see them playing it a lot, if they ask you to play it a lot, that could be their favorite game. And I'm looking into some birdhouses for one of my games. And I had some dental work done not too long ago, and it's not healed up quite nicely yet. So I'm getting a bit of a whistle. And I better wet it. Remember, kids, stay hydrated. Okay. So these upgrades that I'm talking about can be, coins, can be pieces of the game. They can be characters. They can be stickers. There's a ton of them. So what I would suggest, again, is finding out the game, going online. Etsy is a great place to go, and I'll show a few pieces and find something that they really love, because believe me, it elevates the game when you have these upgraded pieces. So that's something to think about. And gift certificates. So you can get them at my local game store at the Gamers Table. They offer gift certificates, and I'll tell you why. Because, as I said, gamers, they know either what they want, or they're like me and they have a list of games that they want, and they would take that gift certificate and they would get to do what they love to do. Other than playing games, they love to roam gaming stores and just look. That would be great. Probably one of the best things you can do, and this has been mentioned before. John Perkis over at at Actual Owl. It was the first one I saw who mentioned this, and it's giving your time to a board gamer. So if you don't play games, like my wife doesn't play a lot of games. I play a lot of my games solo. My friends, they like the laugh out loud party game. So they won't. If I threw Scythe down there, they would just run. But if you were to give them your time and play a game with them, even just one, they would love it. They would appreciate it. It would be an incredible gift. So think about that. Just, it doesn't have to be a whole day. I'd love a gaming day. That would be awesome. Game in the morning, have some lunch, game in the afternoon, have some dinner, game at night. Oh man, that would be amazing. So think about that. Give them your time. Play a game. So the other thing I'm going to talk about is card containers and or boxes that you can get for cards. And I'm going to put some up on the screen. GameGenics has some really good ones, and some of them don't have lids, some of them have lids. So you can really you can help your gamer out, especially if they're a living card game player. Marvel Champions, I mentioned that before. Collector card games, Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings card game, Arkham Horror, the card game. I have that as well, and these boxes help organize your decks. And trust me when I say they're fantastic. They really do help, and they're on my list for Christmas this year. So hopefully, if somebody's from my my friends or family, wife, daughter are watching, then there's something that's not really well known, and I had them in here in my thing, and these are coin capsules, but you can use them for game tokens. Now these I bought, and they're way too small. They're just too small. So I have some that I can't use. I'll find somebody who will use them, I'm sure. You basically just open them up, and then you add your token inside, right? You put your token inside, and you close it up, and now it is protected. Now I'd show you, but unfortunately I don't have any tokens that fit this small container. But they're not expensive at all. So this is, pardon me, an alternative to getting those really they're somewhat expensive tokens, that the upgrades that I talked about before. This would be an alternative to that because they're not that expensive. You can get several sizes. Even if you get them a bunch of sizes, it doesn't cost you a lot, and then they can decide which ones work with which game. I think it's a pretty good idea. One of the other things that I like is bags. These drawstring bags, you can get them in linen. I wouldn't go as far as silk, but certainly the linen ones, I really like them. And there are certain games that I have, like Framework, that I have to get a new bag for because the bag is just not big enough to mix the pieces inside, the game pieces inside. They spill out. You can see them. It doesn't, and they end up sort of clumping together, and you end up getting the same pieces from the last game, and they're in, or it just so. These are really great too. I think these would be a lot of fun for somebody. So that is my list, and I'd like to reiterate that probably the best thing you can do is play a game. Just play a game. That's the best. So thank you very much for watching, and happy holidays to everybody. Remember, until next time, we're all in this together. Cheers.